The UK is closed for business. The UK economy clearly doesn't seem to want this. And it's unbelievable given that everybody in the games industry, with the exception of Sony, admittedly, seem to think this is genuinely a good idea. It's not going to be damaging or harmful for business. A really good example, Martin, Microsoft purchased the game Minecraft and the company behind Minecraft about 5 years ago. They've still made it available on every other system. They haven't sort of blocked it off and said, you have to get a Microsoft Xbox to play it. You can play it on absolutely any system. And that's Microsoft's aim now. They do have a games console of their own. They do have services of their own, but it just doesn't make business sense for a games company to cut off a huge audience. If you're looking at something like the other consoles, you've got a huge audience for Nintendo, for their Switch console. You've got a massive audience for the PlayStation, Sony's console. And it would be in Microsoft's business to, and in their business interests, to keep letting Activision develop games for those platforms. So it's a strange decision, especially the same week where Rishi Sunak and the government are standing up there and patting themselves on the back and saying how much they've done for the UK games industry. They're the only, this is the only kind of authority in the world that's blocked this transaction so far, and it will scupper it globally. And I reckon as a result, Microsoft will probably pull out of the UK.
That's a terrible, terrible thing to have to admit. The global gaming industry now is worth $300 billion per year. It's worth more than, I think, than Hollywood, music and publishing combined. It's absolutely gargantuan. And this is sending out a message, isn't it, that Britain is shut for business. It's a terrible thing to lay out.
Yeah, I don't genuinely understand why they've done it. And they've actually not done this because they're saying it stops games, the Activision games appearing on other people's consoles. They've actually gone on a really kind of tiny margin of this and said that Microsoft are getting into what's called the cloud gaming market. Now, the cloud gaming market is where you don't need a games console. You'll be able to play it on your mobile phone. You might play it on your TV. You play it in various other places. And they're saying because as a result of this and buying that company, it might mean that Microsoft gets unfair advantage in a sector that's currently less than 5% of the games industry. So it makes no sense at all. It does sound like Microsoft are going to appeal against this. And I just think it sends all the wrong messages because the UK might not have the biggest amount of investment in video games, but we make some of the biggest games in this country. Some of the genuinely biggest blockbuster games and titles, which are world bestsellers, are originated from creative people here in the UK. So it would be such a shame if the market feels that the UK can no longer be the place where these companies can be fostered and developed, which appears, even though Rishi Sunak is violently denying it, what's happened here.
You know, Will, I absolutely agree. You know, we don't have much manufacturing or industry left. You know, the future is digital. The future is gaming. It seems completely dunderheaded to me this would happen. Do you think that appeal has any chance of success?
Well, I don't know whether or not it's something that Rishi Sunak will want to row back on. But if the government are openly inviting tech companies to the UK and saying, look, we're the place to come and have a business after Brexit, etc., this just sends out completely the wrong message. Microsoft have been here in the UK for 40 years. They've got a massive base in London and they've got a massive base in Reading. They're already saying as a result of this hearing that they may take the ball and run away and leave. And I don't blame them.